Who is your daddy? I am your father.
You fathers will understand.
My father taught me many things.
I got an idea. How about you all sit there quietly while I make dad noises?
So here we are. We're going to talk about best acting, aka best performance. So it could be voice acting, it could be motion capture, or a combination of the two. Spoiler alert, probably the girl from Hellblade's going to win this one, but it's all about who's going to get 2 through 10 on this list, really. So I will read our nominees that we've got for this category. Assassin's Creed Origins, Batman the Enemy Within, Call of Duty World War II, Destiny 2, Halo Wars 2, Hellblade, Horizon Zero Dawn, Mass Effect Andromeda, Middle-earth Shadow of War, Nier Automata, Resident Evil 7, Star Wars Battlefront 2, The Walking Dead, which we haven't talked about yet, the Telltale series, A New Frontier, Uncharted, The Lost Legacy, Wolfenstein 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Persona 5, and Yakuza 0. All right. Everyone target one that you want to get rid of. I'll get us nominated first. I'll say let's get rid of Middle-earth while we're looking at it. That needs to go.
Yeah, sure.
By the way, though, the character of Shelob was actually voice acted quite well. I don't know if there's any motion capture there, but there's some good voice acting in there. Don't get me wrong, and I do like a lot of.
I like Celebrimborn. I think he's a good voice actor. It's just
I think the orc voice actors are funny and interesting too. By the way, I'm pretty sure that Camille Nanjiani he has a cameo as one of the orcs.
Oh yeah.
He's
also in Mass Effect too.
The other night, and I was just like, get out of here,
yeah. But
yeah, that's funny.
But it's not worth top 10 compared to some of these other ones. What else should go off this list?
No. I think Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah. Xenoblade can get up there.
Okay, but I will say I think the voice acting, even though it's obviously English voices over a Japanese game, is actually surprisingly good. I'm just going to throw it out there.
I would say so too. No, I would absolutely say so. That it's one of the better hardcore JRPGs with good voice acting.
Like when I think back to some Final Fantasy games, even last year's Final Fantasy 15, I think these voice actors are actually doing a better job. But that's just my.
Yeah,
I like it. It just doesn't compete.
Okay.
Not with none of this.
Yeah, I mean
How
exactly.
about
so
Call
is
of Duty?
Persona 5 in the same boat then? Is that similarly cheesy kind of anime performance?
Persona 5 actually is really, really, really like top notch voice acting. Like Troy Baker was in Persona 4.
Oh well, then it's got to win.
Persona 5. I mean, yeah, exactly. Troy Baker is the only male.
He was in Batman too, so he's got to win that one too. I guess.
Yeah, he's in Batman. That's right.
So I mean, like they always get really quality voice actors. This is not just like a good Japanese sport. Really,
I think the issue people are going to have with like Persona 5 and Yakuza 0 and stuff like that is they always have those characters that they're really, in this same thing with like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, they're really annoying. Like, I don't have any issues with, I'm forgetting his name for Persona 5, the blonde-haired boy. But there's a lot of people
Ryu? Yeah,
I don't have a problem with him.
One of my favorite characters, actually.
But a lot of people complain about how annoying he is and he's not acted correctly or well and stuff like that. And I think when it comes to the competition it's going to face, like, I know Rudy was saying, what about Call of Duty? I didn't vote for Call of Duty for anything, but I would still say it's better acted than a Persona 5 or a Yakuza 0.
Right.
But that's just my opinion.
So I went ahead and moved Yakuza 0 off the list. Sorry if that's not what you want. Is that all right to move that one over?
I'm fine. It would be
I'd rather
Kyle.
that than Persona 5 for sure.
Yeah, Kyle would have to fight for Yakuza.
Yakuza 0, there's always going to be a disconnect because like they're talking in Japanese and like it's really bombastic.
Yeah.
It's kind of a silly over dramatization of a soap opera, as Derek was kind of saying earlier.
So Rudy,
I don't have a problem getting that away.
Batman...
Persona 5 though, like it just feels like teenage kids talking, you know.
So Rudy, if Batman is consistent with season 1, then it's pretty good voice acting performances.
Definitely, I definitely agree with that.
Okay. What about Star Wars Battlefront 2? I've heard good things about some of the actors in that, but is that well done or not really?
It's good. I wouldn't say anything is outstanding.
Yeah, I would say Call of Duty is good too, but I mean, I don't know if you could say. I don't know. There's some good performances in both those games.
Yeah.
Okay, let's leave him for
There
right now.
are, but
What about Resident Evil 7? Is
Yeah.
it do the villains, the creepers, make it interesting enough with
Yes.
good performances?
Yes. The family, the Baker family,
yeah,
kills
the
it,
family
in
is
my
so
opinion.
awesome in that game. They have the
Yeah.
coolest like personalities.
And
And
if you played, I know it's not part of the base game, but the new DLC just makes it even better, man.
I have a
really
hard
good.
time not seeing Uncharted and Wolfenstein 2 on this list. I think the performances in
Yep.
both of those
Yeah.
are
They're
Yeah, I
definitely
agree.
gonna be on
absolutely
there.
amazing. So can we
I think
choose between
Walking Dead could go.
Walking Dead can go?
Yeah.
Walking Dead can go.
Yeah.
I haven't.
I
It's
would say
good,
Batman
but
can go too.
it's
Amongst all
it's-
of these, I could say Batman can go too. Batman's great, but like, oh God, there's some people do some really good.
I
So
think
I
Assassin's
wanna-
Creed
Really
could
good.
go.
I wanted to, yeah, Assassin's Creed could go, but it needs to be acknowledged that I think there's some really good emotional moments there. The guy who plays Bayek does a really good job. The lady who plays his
Yeah,
wife,
that's great. Yeah.
Aya, does a great job.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's above, like some of the acting in Halo Wars 2 is legitimately full-on motion capture acting and voices, and it's really impressive. I think that one
I
deserves
was
to
gonna
be
ask
recognized.
about that next. Okay.
Yeah, so
Um,
Halo Wars 2, it's it's essentially fully acted, but of course it's all digitalized, right, into this video game cutscene environment. But boy, is it well done! Like it's really, really well acted. I don't know that the
Sure.
writing's all that amazing, but the acting is great.
How about? Do you guys like the acting in Mass Effect? You do. I'm assuming.
No, I'm fine with it being cut.
No,
Yeah, I
that
actually
one-
don't like the
was
acting in
good,
that game.
Yeah.
That one can go.
Yeah, there are some pretty
Although
bad performances in that game, especially female writers. She's just.
I mean, in terms of,
Ooh.
I know we cut Walking Dead, but in terms of Batman, I feel like probably the number one thing it has going for it is its voice acting.
Yeah, I retracted my
that's the
statement
main
pretty
reason.
quick because I was like, oh no, some of those villains are just like Joker's. Like everyone's really spot on.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and nominate Nier to be removed from this.
I
There are
agree.
emotional
I don't think
moments,
the
and
acting.
like
is
I
particularly
love
good.
the story, but because it's dubbed over, it feels overacted more often than not.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
I know people are going to want to shoot me down, but I still don't think Horizon Zero Dawn's that well acted. I think it has one character in Alloy who's decent, but I think everybody else around her's pretty bad, especially, I want to say his name's Odin, or one of them.
The guy
God,
on
was he
the
terrible.
guy on the edge of the cliff. That guy.
Well,
the guy who's
it's
gonna
one
kill
of the
himself?
main dudes.
The one
There's
that's
the
like
fat dude who I think-
hitting on her the entire game. That guy.
Yeah, the drunk brother
Yeah.
of the girl that...
I
dude, I
thought it was
maybe I'm
alright.
missing it. I thought all the performances, even on the side characters, were really good in that game.
Oh.
I
don't
just
know.
thought the
Voice
one,
acting
the
was
one on the
completely
cliff
fine in
was.
that game. It was
I thought the one on the cliff
Oh,
was
facial
bad.
animation
He
That
was
so good.
terrible.
wasn't that bad.
He was like one of the main characters. I cannot believe none of you notice how terrible he is. He's
So
like,
when I think of the
terribly
voice
acted.
acting in Horizon, I think that the NPCs were serviceable, and I think main character was great. I thought Lance Reddick was fantastic
He's
as
always
well.
great,
As I forget the guy's name. I thought the guy who played Helis, that kind of bulky bad guy for a little while there, I thought he was really good. And the number of some of the cutscenes as they reveal the story of how we got to where we are in the story of Horizon, I thought they were wonderfully
There
acted.
are
as people are
two
freaking
characters
out.
in that entire game that I thought were well acted, and that is Alloy and I'm forgetting his name.
Lance Reddick,
Lance Reddick.
Lance
his
Reddick.
character.
Lance
I don't know.
Reddick.
The guy from Fringe.
Other than that, they were the rest.
the guy
were
from
terrible.
Quantum Break.
Yeah,
And
The
Fringe,
Wire
he's in
and
Fringe.
Lost.
And yeah, from Fringe.
everything.
Yeah.
I'd rather get rid of several other games before that. Like I haven't played Call of Duty or Battlefront 2, but
I would
I
get
don't
rid of
see how they
Battlefront
could be in
2, but if we're trying to chop some stuff, I haven't played Call of Duty, but I imagine there's a lot more emotional moments in that game.
Well, we should pause real quick on Destiny 2. I think it was good performances. Are we okay with that being in there?
Yeah.
Okay with
Yeah,
it. That's another
yeah.
one that like you could add to the Call of Duty and Star Wars like kind of pile.
Is it
like,
just because it's
it's
Nathan
expendable.
Fillion and he's freaking awesome? Is that why? That's why I like it.
I think he's a great character, but I think everybody else. I think that Lance guy's
He's in that game too,
Destiny
yeah.
2.
He's
is,
that guy, yeah.
But they all do amazing performances. Like they get the top notch
I agree.
actors and actresses.
You're
So
right,
I
they
think
do.
it's one of the best. I just
Yeah.
think I feel like some of you are I don't know. I
Yeah,
have to say
Horizon.
it. I think y'all are tying in your love for Horizon Zero Dawn's gameplay and story and all that, and you're ignoring that a lot of those actors were terrible.
Well,
Which
Rudy,
one-
what do you think? I
Absolutely
heard Kyle
terrible.
on that one. What do you think, Rudy?
I
on
was,
Horizon?
I wanted to ask Derek. Derek, which one in particular was the worst that you're referring to, so I can try to remember who you're
All
talking
right,
about. What was one that
so
was
it's
real bad?
probably the first third of the game. All right, first you meet the fat guy who's got the little piece of tech that you're interested in.
Yes.
Because he's the only other person that has it. He's terribly acted. And then you go to another, you meet the one dude in the village in the beginning of the game, and then you meet him again, and he's the one that has the sister who's like kidnapped.
Oh,
He's like
yeah.
a main guy in the game.
I know who you're talking about now. I just can't
And
remember.
he's like drunk, and he's terrible. He's absolutely terrible.
How about
I
how
can't
about the
believe it.
guy? How about the guy? How do you feel about the dude who he was always by the bandit camps and he kind of eggs you on to do what the hell was that guy's name?
Oh yeah, he was okay.
I'm just
He
trying to
wasn't
get
like
a
he
feel
didn't
for.
make me mad, but he wasn't like good. That's what I'm saying. I don't feel like we're talking about best acting. We're not talking about best story, best
Sure.
gameplay, best acting. Horizon Zero Dawn did not have very good actors. Even Alloy was the best one they had, and I still don't even think she's that good.
All right, so I pulled up the characters from Horizon because I want to talk
I'm
about this
looking-
for a
I'm
second.
looking
So
as
we
well
have
right
we have Aloy, right, your lead character. I
Yeah.
thought she was really well acted and motion
Right.
captured and all that.
I agree with that.
You have Rost, the guy who raised her and trained her, who's at the beginning of
Yep.
the story. I thought that he did a good job. Silence is Lance Reddick's character. He's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Nil is the guy you were talking about, who's got the weird.
Yep. I thought he was great.
And then Helis, of course, is kind of that first villain you meet.
Helis. Oh, okay.
He says, "Look to the sun, child." He's going to
Yes,
kill you at
yes.
the beginning. Like
I
I
remember
thought
him, yep.
he was really cool. All right. I'm blanking out on the other guy.
Wait, the guy that Derek was talking about, Aaron. Did you have a problem with him, Derek? The guy with the mohawk and the like handlebar mustache, that dude, the
That's
drunk guy.
Yeah.
See, I don't know, man. There was something. He was a dumb, like I thought he was a dumbass, but I thought his character was played well.
I
don't
thought
know.
he was acted well. I don't know what I don't know.
All right. I thought he was terrible, and I played the game twice, and both times I was like, "Dude,
I mean-
you just need to stop talking."
They even
just
like
terrible.
if you look at his personality, bold, crass, impulsive, and a heavy drinker, and he has low self-esteem. I felt like that's exactly what I got from, that actor playing that guy.
I think it's a combination of. I felt like he over exaggerated the character. I get what you're saying about him being drunk and
Sure.
kind of stupid, but like he over exaggerated the character. Plus, you have to add into the bad animations. Like Kyle mentioned earlier,
Right.
how half the face doesn't move. And so,
That's so
when
true.
you're watching this guy talk and you're listening to him, I'm like, so bad. But you guys are also saying some of the other characters I thought were terrible. You're saying, oh, they're good.
It just,
I'm
like
obviously
bad voice acting sticks out
minority.
to me big time. Like to the point where people get annoyed whenever I bring it up. They're like, really, that's what you're hung up on right now? So like,
Yeah.
I feel like if it was really that bad, if I was really being true to myself, which I feel like I am, it would have stood out to me. Now, there were bad characters, but I think that they were fewer and far between than the majority of the performances in that game.
Derek,
to
would it
Derek's
be totally unfair to make you pick between Star Wars and Call of Duty? Do you feel like they both deserve a spot in the top 10? If that's
think
unfair,
they
that's
have-
okay. We can revisit Halo Wars 2. if
I
we really
think they
to.
have really good performances,
Okay.
but they are also shorter experiences, meaning like, to use the example of Horizon Zero Dawn, and I'm looking at pictures of all the characters, and there's about 10 of them that I think have terrible voice acting. So again, I'm alone on this. But I would say because that game's bigger, you meet more characters. Because Call of Duty and Star Wars are both linear war games, there's less characters that you talk to, and there's less scenes where you're talking.
That's true.
But the ones that they have are ridiculously well acted. Like Josh Duhamel is in Call of Duty World War II. He's great.
Right.
The main guy you play is like this southern. That's why I said you're not really playing a hero. He's like this southern kind of like, I wouldn't say insecure, but definitely not a cocky guy. He's kind of like very quiet and mellow, but he's well acted. So there's a ton of good performances, but am I gonna cry if you got to cut one? No, pick one and cut it.
Well, I
Wait,
mean,
guys.
I'm just trying to think of games that I don't think just based on what I know of them and the videos I've seen of them, because I haven't played those two and I haven't played Persona 5. I guess I'm still struggling to see what makes the Persona 5 acting. If we cut Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which to me was like, wow, this is surprisingly good for a Japanese game. Is Persona 5's performances are they really good?
They are much better than Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I think Xenoblade
They
Chronicles
are
2
better.
is a
agree
great
with Kyle.
dub. You know, it's a really good dub. Persona 5 is one of the best dubs of any anime, gaming, Japanese
then
property
Kyle,
we've
let me
ever
ask you
gotten.
this. So Kyle, Persona 5 or Horizon?
Persona 5.
Over Horizon?
All right.
Yeah.
Wait, guys, can I ask a quick question about this, just so I kind of know where we're going? Are we focusing more on? So, for example, we talked about Resident Evil before, right? In Resident Evil, in my opinion, the Baker family is the standout. The acting from the main character Ethan is lame. The few
Super
other
lame.
characters appear really lame. But the Baker family, for me, holds that game up. Then you compare that to something like, let's say, Destiny 2, where I felt across the board everyone does a good job, but none of them do as well as the one Baker family. Which way do we want to lean more? You know what I mean?
You can make a case for either one.
I
man.
think
That's a good
that's
point.
your call.
Yeah, you
I
make
think
a
that's
case
where
either
you
way.
have to decide.
Yeah.
I want Resident Evil over Destiny, or I want Destiny over Resident Evil.
Okay. I didn't know if it was like collective.
I have no problem with Kyle fighting for Persona 5 because I do think, again, we can only go based off how we feel about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I do see a lot of people complaining about characters in Persona 5, but when I play the game, they don't get on my nerves, and I can say they are well acted. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I like the characters, and some of them are acted pretty well, but there are some that are not acted well.
Mm-hmm.
That's why what I'm talking about with Horizon Zero Dawn. Again, I'm alone on this, but I'm going to stick by it. I'm not going to change my opinion. When I played that game twice, the same characters, and there was a lot of them. There wasn't like just one or two. There's a lot of them that I was like, man, you're really bad. Like, you're a bad actor or an actress combined with bad facial animations. That drove me nuts. So that's where you're getting me lashing out against you guys saying this is worthy of top 10.
Well,
there were a few that
Rudy,
I
what do you
did.
think about the Horizon? What do you think about the point Derek's making about Horizon?
Okay, so I think I don't agree completely with Derek, but I do agree that there are a few. I couldn't even tell you the names of them now, but the one that sticks out in my head because it was leaked before the game even came out was
the side quest, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was the number one worst thing I think I've seen in a game acting in a long time. But there were a few others that I do agree were bad. But do I think it was as widespread as Derek thinks? I don't really agree with that. But there were a few, yeah, I'd say. I don't know. I'd put it in the top half of the list at least for sure.
You know, and you're asking me why I would choose Persona 5 over Horizon Zero Dawn. You know, the thing holding, if I have to choose one that's being held back, Horizon Zero Dawn is being held back because of the facial animations, which I would say that is part of performance. I know that's not like really. I guess it's really not. Did they motion capture that?
I think there's got to be some motion capture there. I'm not positive about that.
I guess
think
just
Horizon
the mouth, right?
they did mocap
definitely not
it,
their upper
but
face.
What did you say, Derek?
But I don't know if we can.
Wait, hang on a
I don't
second.
know,
What did you
the
say,
point
Derek?
that I was kind of building towards, I guess, it really isn't indicative.
Wait,
of,
hang on,
best
Kyle.
acting.
Derek? What'd you say about the motion capture?
oh, I was just answering Kyle. I think they did mocap it, but I don't think they're at the we know they're not at the Uncharted level of picking up facial.
See, I think the point I was building wasn't too fair, so I'll retract that. It's we're down to these 11. I mean, it's tough.
Okay.
Well, I think we gotta let Call of Duty or Star Wars go. I think the four of us are not emotionally attached to either one of those games. I think we just need to vote one of them off.
I have to abstain from the vote. I haven't played either one, so I can't vote.
I've only played.
I think Aiden and Hask, I think his name is, in Star Wars are great performances. I think everything else in that game is pretty just serviceable in terms of just like voice acting and stuff like that.
Well, and Derek, the way you kind of sold me on World War II, and I imagine that World War II
probably
is
has way
well
more emotional
acted and
moments.
written, because a lot of times those historical war games.
I would put
typically
Call
are.
of Duty over Star Wars,
Okay.
and the reason why is I do think it's Aiden, right? I think she's
Yeah,
actually a
me too.
phenomenal character, and she's acted very, very well. But I would say, like Luke, spoilers, you play as Luke.
A lot of
he's not
a lot of the sound-alike voice
Especially
actors
when you're-
don't do it for me in that game.
Yeah, they can't nail it, and it's not to knock them. You're not the original, so it automatically puts you at a
Right.
disadvantage.
Right. And that's the case with Batman as well. You know, like those aren't the
Ooh, but they nail
same
it.
actors as the movies or anything, but
Yeah, they nail it.
they do nail it. I do feel very good about it.
All right, so let me give you guys a recap. Those of you listening, who we have on our list of 10, and alphabetically before we rank them: Batman: The Enemy Within, Call of Duty World War II, Destiny 2, Halo Wars 2, Hellblade, Horizon, Persona 5, Resident Evil 7, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, and Wolfenstein 2. So far, I have put Hellblade at number 1, and I dare anybody to try to challenge that one. And then I'm put
Nah, I'm
Halo
okay with
Wars
that.
2, since that's one that I fought for to get on the list. But I went ahead and put it at 10, since there's not a lot more I can say about it other than the acting and those
I think
cutscenes needs to be
Zero
recognized.
Dawn should be 10.
I got an idea, possibly. Okay, so looking at this whole list, I mean, I haven't played Call of Duty. That's the only one I can't speak on. But the rest of them, I feel like every one of these games, there's a lot of voice acting in like a story capacity across the whole game. When I think of Destiny, I really can only remember, there's a few moments throughout the story, sure, where you're dealing with story cutscenes, but mostly it's just when you're in the tower, talking to the guys, turning in emblems, whatever. And there's nothing wrong. It's still good, but I'm just trying to find a way to separate. And that's the only way I can think of.
Yeah, the
You don't
top
really deal
3
with
for
them
me,
again.
honestly, are Hellblade, Uncharted, Wolfenstein 2. Those are my top 3.
I am okay with those 3. I think you can just plug that in, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with that too. Derek, how do you feel about that?
As long as Horizon's 10, that's all I'm gonna say.
Because of the
Let's see.
distractions from it and the reminders that there are in fact bad performances in that game, whether or not they're as widespread as you're saying or not, doesn't matter. The fact there are bad performances, I'm okay with leaving it down in the bottom half, even at 9 if we have to.
Yeah, but if there's we can agree that Aloy's acting
I think
well, right?
Aloy.
That is one of the characters that I thought was, I'm gonna say decent. I'm not gonna use the word well.
Actually,
She's-
Birch is
dude,
an amazing
I-
voice actress.
I'm
This
just
is not
wondering-
my favorite performance by her. She does great in this game. She's done better.
Dude, I
Okay.
think all the named characters in this game do a good job, but I'll just leave it at that. All right, I'll leave it at 9 because again,
So-
this isn't my personal list, so I feel
Okay,
like
I was
I've been
gonna say-
convinced in just our debate format here. I've been convinced it doesn't deserve a spot
Yeah.
higher than that based on the feelings towards it. So, can we put Resident Evil 7 at 8 since it does have a weak main
Yeah.
character?
Totally.
Yes, I was just gonna say that. Yep.
Maybe Call of Duty next, since it barely made the cut.
Okay. Well, Rudy was talking. Well, I think Destiny deserves to be high just because I'm basing it off performance, not based
Right.
off
They
how they
do
use
do
it
a
in
good
the
job.
game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we can put Destiny.
I'd put
up there.
Destiny at 4 based on what we
I don't
got
care
left
where
here.
Batman is in 4, 5,
We
6.
could put Persona 5 at
What are
6.
those?
I mean,
I
again,
think Batman
it's
should be
it's
just
me
one
and
of those
Derek
3.
just kind of trying to squeak that one in, so which is weird. I'm still trying to figure out what his end game is here, but
setting you up,
I know, I feel it.
setting you up.
All right, so let me just finish copying and pasting this and tell me what you guys think about the way that looks before we announce it.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I mean,
That's
again, this is
solid.
all based
Yeah,
on the
we're good.
conversation
We're
we
good with
just
that.
had, right?
Yeah.
Of fighting for or against
just-
certain
Yes,
games.
definitely.
I just want to tell the listeners
It definitely is
real
because when
quick
this conversation
that
started,
while we were on break, we decided and we all agreed that we were going to make this debate quick by everybody just following what I said. I want to say that you guys are terrible at following what I said because Horizon Zero Dawn would not be on this list at all. Yet here we are debating for an hour and a half
Whoa.
to get it at 9.
wait a sec, Derek. You got to give us some credit though, because at the beginning of this conversation, I would have put Horizon probably
would
in
too.
top 3.
I know you
think
guys
and
would.
Kyle
I
would have
am-
agreed with me.
I literally
So you
am
definitely did some work
shocked that I am the only one on here that's like,
on this.
yeah, there's more than one bad character in that game. Like, really?
I didn't say there's not more than one, but none of the important characters are poorly performed. You know what? Let's move
You
on.
know what? Go YouTube the damn game. Go YouTube. You have a very bad memory. You're getting old. Go YouTube the cutscenes, and then you'll see what I'm saying.
Ouch.
All right, so this is, again, just based off of performances, right? Voice acting, and in some cases, motion capture. So
Hellblade
we've
is
got-
above everybody else by a mile.
we didn't. So we talked about Halo Wars 2 and Horizon, of course, at length. We talked about Resident Evil 7, Call of Duty a little bit, Persona 5. Kyle made a good case for. Batman, Rudy made a good case for. Destiny 2, Derek made a good case for, and I agree. We didn't talk about the top 3 really. So Wolfenstein 2, I think that the guy who plays BJ kind of plays him as that perfect, like gruff American hero guy.
Good old Texas boy.
And
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Derek, what's the thing he's always saying?
Caroline. They always say Horizon's better, Caroline.
He's always talking to Caroline. Give me
That's
your
funny.
wings. I need your wings.
Horizon
All
Zero
right,
Dawn.
so it's but it's not just him. I think all the actors are great.
They did a good job.
I actually looked up the actors because there's moments when I was like, this was really good. The lady who plays Frau Engel, who we'll talk about later.
That was a great villain. Kyle said there wasn't great villains. That was a great villain.
She's a great
She's
villain.
great.
Yeah,
She's a great
yeah.
villain.
I'd say I was
She's
having a hard
great.
time thinking of great
Wonderful.
villains, but yeah, no, you're
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
right. She's a wonderful villain.
Wonderfully acted. All of his partners and friends, they're all really well acted. You know, a couple of them maybe hitting too much of the stereotype, but for the most part, really well acted. Very funny moments, and I think it's motion captured the way that they look at each other and play off each other. It's really, really well done.
Mhm.
So that's one of my favorites of the year. Someone just added a row in here. That was weird.
Sorry, I
Just
didn't mean
hit
to do that.
Control Z.
I'm trying. I was trying to add a villain, but I'll just put it
That's no
underneath.
All right. So anyway, Uncharted
Anyway,
Lost
go ahead,
Legacy,
sorry.
of course, 2 fantastic performances for the characters of Chloe and Nadine. And even though he's a weak villain, I thought the guy who played Asav did a really great job
Yeah,
too
he did.
for the villain. And then just in general, that voice acting is always top notch. I feel like I'm watching a movie when I play those games. So those performances deserve to be acknowledged, whether or not that game, lived up to the name of the franchise or not. That's for a different conversation. And then lastly, Hellblade. There's a number of good performances here. Some of them are actually captured with full motion video, like real, like live video of them talking. And there's one guy she's always remembering, and he's always telling stories and giving her kind of the lore. And he is a great actor, right? He really kind of owns that character and does a really good job with that. And there's a few others as well, but it's mainly all about this brand new to the scene actress, Melina Jurgens, I think is her name.
Mm-hmm.
She's some
I'm
kind of
doing anything
video
like this,
editor.
right?
She's never done this before, not professionally at least, right? And so they had her there as a test, and she did such a good job that they just were like, you have to do this role. So it was kind of like Harrison Ford getting the Han Solo role. She was the placeholder till they cast the role, and then they just eventually gave her that spot. So
Awesome.
she knocked it out of the park. She, the emotion that she conveys in that game and the struggle and the madness in that game is striking. And that's why Derek and many others have said this game isn't fun. It's because it's uncomfortable, and her performance is a big part of that. Because you feel uncomfortably. It feels uncomfortably real. The stuff she's struggling with, and that she's looking around, and it's just wonderfully acted. So that's why
let me make sure I say
Well,
that
I felt
about
like that
this
with
game,
Last
because
of
I
Us
know
as
a lot
well,
of people
but-
think they get so arrogant. They think that, and I'm not saying Kyle was saying this. It was just reminding me that I'm not an idiot. I am well aware Hellblade was not created for me to go, oh, it's fun shooting people up. No, I get what it is. It's just when I play a game, it's my choice when I play a game if I want to have fun or not, and that game's not fun to play, and the things that they do are downright miserable to do. So they're just.
And you're talking about
That's all I'm
you're
saying.
talking about a different type of fun than the fun that I'm launching into. But I think a lot of games are like created not to be fun. Also, like I don't have fun playing Last of Us. That's not a fun game. It's kind of tormenting and,
see,
and
I had
emotionally
fun with
draining.
that.
Yeah, but I see. I actually Last of Us
Talk
story.
about triggered.
All right, we got
Well,
to
no,
debate
what I
here
mean
now.
by that is like
I was gonna
you're not having a fun time. Like that's not a fun experience. It's not lollipops and chainsaws and stuff like that. It's an emotionally draining, heavy, like experience or whatever. And that's why I opened by saying I know that's not the fun you're talking about. You're talking
Sure.
about
No, we hear you. You hated Last of Us. We hear
yeah,
you.
you're right.
We got
guys.
it.
I'm
We
glad
got
that I
it.
got that, aired that out here. That I hated that amazing game. Perfect game.
Wait. Can
Yeah,
I just
Rudy,
say
go
though
ahead,
that
go ahead.
Last of Us, even though it's emotionally draining, it's a very dark story. All of that, I 100% agree with. But while I'm playing that game, I have fun. I'm shooting this guy in the head.
See,
I'm
and I feel
beating
the
crap out
weight.
of this
I'm
other
like,
guy.
oh god, I
I
don't
find
feel
that fun,
good
actually.
killing this guy. Like when they're struggling and like you're strangling them, and they're like, stop, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, it's kind of, I get really
Sure.
immersed in that game, and that's to its advantage. Like that's
I get it.
a positive thing.
So this is good. This is our final top 10 list of best acting or performances in video games in 2017. Number 10, we have Halo Wars 2. Number 9 is Horizon. Number 8, Resident Evil 7. Number 7, Call of Duty World War II. Number 6, Persona 5. Number 5, Batman: The Enemy Within. Number 4, Destiny 2. Number 3, Wolfenstein 2. Number 2 is Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. And number 1 is Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. There's your best performances of the year. Nicely done.
Well done.
Well done.
I like that list.
All right. Well, I think we will call it a wrap for tonight because we've got a couple guys on the East Coast, especially one who's got to get to work in the morning, and one on Mountain Time has got to get to work early in the morning. So we will call it for tonight and gather again, hopefully soon, to continue this recording. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Rudy and Kyle, we didn't get to sign off officially last time because we kind of ended abruptly the way it ended. But thank you guys so much for being here and being part of this debate conversation.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Of course.
Yeah, I really
My
appreciate
pleasure.
it. Derek, thanks also for letting me cut you off and be super rude to you and know that I'm not actually trying to be mean to you. I just know you can take it.
Yeah, I don't care.
See? That's it.
Well,
That's
and you've got to dictate it because there's 4 of us, and I know our voices are getting. I know it is. Right. And Kyle, just as a suggestion, when we record again, anytime you lean forward, we lose you. Like
that's so weird.
I can't cut you off because you can't hear us. But if you're talking and you naturally will just do this, I'm like, he's gone.
That's really weird because I'm just using a headset.
I don't know what it is.
There's no microphone or anything. It's just a headset, so I don't know why it would be doing that.
Well, no. What are you using for your microphone?
The headset.
Is it like what's recording your voice?
Right here. I'm holding it in my hand right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
so I have no idea. Like maybe it's pressing up against my shirt or something like that. But yeah.
Yeah, because it muffles when you.
You're just gonna have to go shirtless.
Yeah, everyone would love
Tuesday.
that. I'm sure everyone at home would love a shirtless mustache man on next week. So
nice.
I'm sure we would get pulled off YouTube. I promise.
All right. Well, thank you guys again for listening. Thank you all of you listeners for tuning in and for sharing the show. Thanks for your support. We really appreciate it. I know these are extra long episodes, but hopefully you've got some vacation time, some family time where you're going to want to put those headphones in for a while, and hopefully this will keep you company during that time. So thanks again, and we've got more categories to cover, so don't go anywhere. We will be back.
Who is your daddy? I am the father.
You fathers will understand.
My father taught me many things.
I got an idea. How about you all sit there quietly while I make dad noises?